right, welcome to the Getting Naked with TJ podcast. Is this my first podcast with the new name? I know we switched the name because I'm not a doctor anymore. I'm not identifying as a doctor anymore, nor will I ever anymore. I'm just a human alongside other humans, trying to be the most resilient, adaptive humans possible. And maybe some of us have experience and have proven to ourselves what the body's capable of doing, and we can point a direction for somebody else to go ahead and do it on their own, because that's what it's all about. Nobody saves anybody. Nobody heals anybody. All we do is just get people to believe a different story, get people to believe that something else is possible. Two reasons people don't heal: they don't want to, or they didn't know they could. And I ran this by Dr. Cassie Huckabee, and let me just explain something a small detail. Seems like I talk about her a lot. We did house calls. It's literally like discovering a new element, or like a cave where there's unicorns and mermaids and Pegasus and his offspring, her offspring. When you see somebody in medicine who's actually doing it how it's supposed to be done, I'm talking about like fucking big league shit. You don't want to keep this quiet. Like, you need people to see that there's a possible direction change, and that there's another story, and that they don't need something cut out, and that healing is possible, and that every sickness and disease they've ever gotten you to believe even exists is just the healing response to the body. And it's not you attacking you. You're not dying from your disease or sickness. It doesn't work that way. The body has done everything it could up until this point to keep you here. They've gotten you to believe, naturopathic and allopathic has gotten you to believe that whole process is something to be feared, something that is your body that's flawed, that you're genetically mutated, that you were born flawed, that your body's attacking you with some autoimmune bullshit, which doesn't exist. All these things. Cassie has people getting in positions to reverse all of it. And the stories you hear, it's all the stuff that's big league impossible. It's not impossible. It's just another direction. It's just another thing that we're just trying to get people to understand there is another story. And it's capital T truth, to be honest with you. There are billions of dollars. If this charade of 2020 hasn't gotten you to believe how big pharma is, how much they can influence, from the media to politics to education to medicine to food to it's everything. So I will devote my entire life existence here right now to make damn sure people know they're not weak, they are able, and that every single thing that's happening in the body is by design, that it's intelligent. Their aging doesn't exist. Aging is bullshit too. That every story we've ever been told, every commercial you've ever heard, every time the doctor said something about the way the body goes about things, the opposite is truth. We're seeing it right now with the control over the world. Anything they say, yeah, I don't trust the vaccine and all this, but cancer's real. Really? Are you fucking insane? Everybody's like, oh my God, the vaccine. Yeah, bullshit. Viruses don't exist. Virology is a complete scam. Yep. But dermatology's online. But type 1 diabetes actually is real. Interesting how they picked the one disease where you need the one thing that you can't get by without. And that insulin happens to be one of the more expensive. Interesting how that all works. If you guys aren't tying this shit together, I don't have anything for you. You're done. Just get out of the way. Okay, but there are some of us here who get it and who are abiding by those natural laws and who are getting people in positions to realize that they can do this. My specialty, if you want to call it that, it's just getting people to come back into their physical body, that there's joint, any orthopedic bullshit you've been told, a torn ligament, tendons, degenerative this, herniated this, a blade, whatever you want to say. That's my area of expertise. If you want the bigger stuff, you go to Cassie. Those are the only two people I'd recommend in the world. Maybe Vladi. He's the only other person. That's it. I got full faith in 3 people. A couple of others are creeping up, but they got to prove themselves first. So what are we getting into? Now you realize why I talk about that woman so much. It just feels great. It's like Nick Wallace from wallacefarms.com. We had him on the HFFH podcast before I left the group because they wanted me to step down as a leadership role because of the gist of my posts. And I couldn't take that. I will not be censored in any manner. I will not be controlled in any manner, whether it's a health medical freedom group or a motherfucking management group of any kind, or governmental or a medical or a not happening. So, but Nick Wallace, I know a farm that's producing food that I can trust. He asked me, what do you want for putting me in your book? I want nothing. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Good man. Check it out. There's one farm I recommend. There's one doctor I recommend. There's one training specialist I recommend. It's getting to the point to where it's as if we're in a community and there's really just like one real medicine woman, one real source of food, one real source of education. No fucking shit. All these different splices that we have of all these different things are complete nonsense. The divide is what's making us so easy to control. Did they even think that there's like a way, like an option that's better? There's just human. There's just food. There's just life. There's just elders. There's just medicine. It's just one thing. But then we had to create the divides and all around money and power and control. All right. So today's episode, I want to focus on. I got injured. So I want to walk you through. This is another one. I did my foot not too long ago. I tore a ligament in my shoulder before I came back here. I don't like. I get injured all the time. Everyone's like, "Here." I'm not claiming invincibility. That's not what it's all about. When you have symptoms or you have something that comes up, body's doing what? It's getting your attention with symptoms. God bless fucking symptoms. If we didn't have them, we wouldn't be here. It's the body's way of talking to you, telling you that something inside of you is damaged or is struggling or is processing, and you need to change something. You need to slow down. You need to change your nourishment. You need to change that relationship, change where you live, change your sleep schedule, change your belief system, change your purpose, change your intention, change everything. You got to change everything, because up until that point, you thought you were doing well. Body tells you you're not. So to keep doing what you were doing before and then expect an outcome is lunacy. So I was on a glute ham back there, and I was doing a move that I don't normally do, and I was just getting after it and pulled my hamstring. Stopped. What did you do? What did you do? Well, how severe? Did you get it checked out? Yeah, by me. Did you take an image? Hell no. Why the fuck would I take an image? You don't need an image to heal. The body doesn't heal differently because of tissues. Like, body, that's a ligament. You good now? It's a herniated disc. Are you okay? Can you now start? This is a tumor with this type of toxicity, with this kind of border, with this kind of, now we can go healing. So I let it chill out for a day because it wasn't that bad. And then I started to go back into being very aware of the things that I was doing. I had to pull back from some activities I like to do out there. So we have to sacrifice the top of the pyramid, come in, reassess what my ability to move was. Clearly, I wasn't doing what I needed to do to survive in the life that I chose to live in. And I want to continue to do those things that I tried. I want to continue. When there's an insult, I don't want to change my life. I want to change how I prepare for my life. And that's the rub. That's the split and the choice that you have. I'm not ready to slow down anytime soon. I will not ever slow down. I will pay into the things that I need to put me in a position to thrive high, hard, and go. I don't like thinking about things. I don't like weighing out risks. I just like going. I go on field. Does that feel like something I'm going to do? Yep, go. Done. I can do it. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to prep myself. I don't have to, it's just my life is my medicine getting me ready for these events. So again, body's telling me it wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. Cool. Thank you, body. Thank you for ripping my hamstrings. Thank you for having that happen and telling me. Now I have an opportunity to get even better than I was prior to that move. We can continue to improve. Even you, the person who does all these things, yeah, maybe it wasn't ideal. Maybe I got to shift my focus to something. Maybe I got to pull back on something. Maybe I got to focus on another area. Do I add? I don't know. It's not always adding. Sometimes it's taking things out. So I went in, proceeded to go through my assessment myself, went through some moves. Now, when we do rehab, when there's damage or there's injury, you have to do way more than your previous self, because we have to break the PTSD. We need a stimulus into the body greater than what that was that created the dysfunction, that created the damage, that created that. And so I had to do more. Was it fun? Well, no, it's what I had to do to get back, because I didn't want to stay that way. I didn't want this to go, I'm going to go put tape on it or put some oils on it or do a laser treatment on it or have a chiropractor fuck my leg and do something else. I want to, because this will translate to somewhere else if I don't stay on it. And that's what we've got a society of, is we keep shifting, and then it goes to a calf and then an Achilles, and then somebody checks the Achilles, and then all of a sudden it's like, we pulled your hamstring however long ago, you didn't pay attention to, you did a bunch of passive treatment and energy work and spiritual advisement. You looked at your charts, but you didn't get into active work. And for every passive treatment that you did, you're supposed to do like 3 or 4 times more active inputs, and you didn't. Now you're farther back behind. Now to do the Achilles, to do the calf, to do the hamstring, we've got some work to do. So again, I can't have it be that way, because I will not live that way. That's just an imprisonment. That's a life sentence of bullshit. And so I've been getting people in positions to not have to do that. And I've seen things from 30 years of habit be undone in weeks when they do the work. So here's the cool part. So I go through, this was on, I don't know, maybe a Friday. It was a Friday maybe. So I go into everything, hit it hard, hit it hard, hit it hard. The following Saturday, I feel fantastic because I'm not sensing it, but because there's no symptoms there, it doesn't mean I'm done with the process. So I now had to refocus my intention and my drive and my awareness to certain things, but I didn't slow down. I actually did more. I want to make that clear. When we have these issues, we need to do, for the most part, more on the basics, pulling away the stuff that we like to do, the fun stuff. So as I said, it's not always adding, it's keeping things simple again in volume and in bulk and intention and savage consistency. And then taking away the things that we like to do, like walking, jogging, biking, having sex, dancing, hiking, surfing, pottery, whatever the things we like to do in life, we got to pull back to prepare and let the body heal so that we can go do those things greater than we did before. Greater than we did before. That's the reality. So now I go to test it on a Saturday. Feeling pretty good. Well, mine, I wanted to walk, because that's one thing I do in volume. I walk, and I love exploring the world by foot. So, and walking, I want to make walking sexy again. I want to make walking so fucking hot that it just, all these joggers and runners who are just wasting their time, I want to bring it back where I see a culture walking again. See teens walking, we see families walking after dinner, we see lovers hand in hand in the evening time, walking. That's what I want. Conditioning, these poser-ass performance coaches going to the track to do 400s for fucking tennis players and everybody else. I want to see walking again. I'd love to see it. So I start out from Encinitas, Swami's, and I start going down towards Torrey Pines, and I get there, and it's a little over 10 miles. And I look at my phone, and I did it in just over 2 hours. Like, wait a second. Normally my clip is not that. I shaved it by like an hour, by like 40 minutes to an hour. Like, what? And I was just doing my regular intention. Holy crap. So my performance in life, as I said, the things that I like to do, walking being one of them. I could test it with some other things. I chose walking that day. My gait was more efficient, more powerful. I didn't fatigue. I did it in less time. Not that that was what I was going for. I was just looking at the coast, exploring. It was a beautiful weekend. There's people everywhere. It was so fun people watching and avoiding them at the same time. But I got to my end point, was like, holy shit. The only thing I've really changed is my capacity to move, and I refocused it everywhere and ended up raising certain things while I cut out some walking. Nourishment changed a little bit, but that's just because the demand was there, which makes sense. And so then I came back, and it was 21 to 22 miles in way less time, in like an hour and a half to 2 hours less. And I just sat back and I'm like, you know what, body, like, I was feeling pretty good, moving pretty good, operating pretty well. And you let me know this. Now, the majority of society, including chiropractors, energy workers, acupuncturists, massage therapists, trigger point therapists, Reiki, PTs, orthopedists, naturopaths, you name it, they'd go in, oh, what is it you injured? You are now a hamstring. You will do isolated hamstring work. Maybe you stretch it, which is an absolute disaster. You definitely ice it, which is another disaster. You definitely do some passive modality, whatever it is. Passive means you lay there and somebody does something to you. Nothing active. So totally shutting you out, completely disconnecting you from self to lower a symptom. Raise your capacity to up to 80% to who you were before you came in. So now you're working less. That's when you get exited. Probably paid insurance. So now you're completely wasting your time and in a world you do not want to be in and employing people that don't need to be employed and need to be out of business. That's the majority of them. You get a little better. You don't sense it. Then you go back and you try to do stuff. And you got this achy hamstring. Well, it's just a trick hamstring. I pulled it. I am 40 or I am 50. I am 60. I am an old athlete. And now you're starting to believe those stories they got you taken in. And then all of a sudden it shifts to a hip. Well, it was bound to happen because I am 60 and because this is what's going to happen. And then you just keep going. And the stories just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And everyone's got that story to take you out of being accountable and responsible for doing the work or the truth of functioning higher than you were prior to this awareness of something going on in your body. And so that's what I was looking at. I'm like, this is crazy because I get goosebumps. I'm almost in tears when the body does this, when I listen and what it does for me coming back. Trivial. But what if that was somebody wanting to get on the ground and crawl and play with their grandkids? What if that was an athlete trying to provide for his family? What if that was somebody who was tired of being assisted to go upstairs, couldn't live on their own? What if that was somebody living in terror that they don't trip again? What if that was somebody who just wanted to go walk with a lover by themselves and look at the stars? They've always seen it in movies. They've always dreamt of it. What if somebody that just wanted to own a dog or own a cat and take a cat for a walk? Yep, people are taking cats for walks. What if this? It's not trivial to them. It wasn't trivial to me. But when I listened, found something, an opportunity that happened, listened to it, made sense of it, helped the body, first of all, thanked it, and then really thanked it when I saw what it gave me the opportunity to do. I had an opportunity to level up my ability to just participate in my world. It's walking for me. It could be something else for somebody else. And I could test it doing something else and find that my performance has increased. But how? You were injured. But this is what I'm talking about. And this is why my Zoom and FaceTime sessions are blowing up, is because everybody has to touch you to do symptom-based pain management bullshit. I was honest with a gentleman who came into my office the other day. Now, I know I talked about this. Me turning him on to Dr. Cassie because when I weighed out what he was going through and how he had just been absolutely hosed by naturopaths and chiros and trainers and therapists and all this bullshit, I'm like, you don't need me right now. Go to her. Go through her. Get healed. Heal yourself with this thing and then come back if you want. He totally could have stayed. The chiropractic adjustment, I'm not a chiropractor anymore, but the adjustment I gave him was being dead honest with him and truthful. And that's the serious nature of it, because we create the subluxation of the spine. We adjust it. Somebody doesn't adjust us, and somebody doesn't make a bone move. The fuck? Why did the body put it there? Why would it make this area shut down? Why would it shut down that place right there and reduce maybe nerve transmission, if that's what you believe? Why would it do that? And if we go in and restore it, could we fuck somebody up? Is it always restored function? What if we reduce a fever? What if a subluxation in a chiropractic world is a fever? And we reduce a fever. Now the body doesn't go through what it's supposed to go through. Now you're fucking people up by adjusting them. What if we brought the attention to them or made a suggestion instead of an adjustment? We suggested to their body, hey, this is what I think in theory is what you need. I'm going to bring your attention to it. Here's what I'm going to do with you. And this is the work that you have to do to make sure that this opens up when the body's ready, or shifts and makes the adjustment and clears it when the body's ready. But to even think that you adjust something or you input something passively, are you joking? That the body's so flawed it needs a chiropractor or an acupuncturist or a Reiki or a Rolfer or a Trigger Point or a Graston or a therapist, a physical therapist, a spiritual teacher, a oil salesman, a laser treatment. My God, PRP, stem cell. We're not that flawed. But that's why these Zoom FaceTime rehab sessions, because I can see actively and make suggestions for them to be active. And now you go in and whatever their situation was, it's not what it was prior to. They now have the capacity to go ahead and take this thing and take off. And all I did was just make suggestions. And they just changed their entire life and realized that they could. I had a woman the other day. She's like, I was watching your video and you said 1,000 reps or whatever. Nobody's ever told me that I could possibly even attempt those. And she went in, has certain things going on. She did 500 reps. So I was like, she's like, I was almost in tears because just by your video, I now had the opportunity to think that I could do more and that the body can take more and that the body will provide more if we have that capacity of belief of a different story. And that's all it was. That's why I just keep posting my videos. It's not even, and that's why I don't get into it. Was like, what should I do? I have no idea what you should do. I'm just making suggestions. And I post videos of me living my life just to maybe inspire you that it's possible. I'm not anything special. We all are. The potential we have inside of us is special. And that's what I will fight for. And that's what's being attacked right now. And that's what I get triggered on. Somebody asked me, do you get triggered on anything? Yeah, when somebody puts a limit on the human potential, that's when I get fucking irate. And I will go toe to toe with you and will break my fucking soul to fight you down to make sure that you know that there is potential inside you that's greater than anything that's ever been measured. And it's inside every single one of us. It's inside everything, on around us, on us, in us, everything. That's what I will fight for. Pretty cool. It was just a tiny hamstring. So now what? We just continue. Now I'm at a new level. So now to stay here, we keep going and we keep going and we keep going. That's why I said after 300 days of doing the same exercise, how can we continue to make things difficult, make them stimulating enough to create change? 300 days doing the same 5-minute exercise. And I always ask people that. They're like, do it longer, add weight, stand on something that's really awkward and oblong and oscillate, or just go harder with more intention, more behind it. Since you're a different person each time you attempt something, I'm a different person every second. You're a different person when you hear this next week. So again, we are different every single time. The body loves to talk to you. It loves it. You're never sick or diseased. Injury, just an opportunity to get better. That's it. That's all it is. There were these dipshit hosers up at Stanford, these fucking tennis therapists, PTs. My God, these people. And they would literally tell the athlete, it's like, you can't come back 100% from that. Like they would literally put that limitation on somebody, just like you will have cancer because you have this genetic blah, blah, blah. You know you can't heal that. You know, right. But as Cassie said, you guys cutting the skin to take a tumor out that you said isn't healable, but then you're going to count on the body healing the cut that you created. It doesn't differentiate, you fuckers. The body just heals. It's just light. There's no age. There's just more things that get in the way that make it appear slower. It heals as at one rate. We're either antagonizing it, getting in its way, or why do youth? Oh my God, youth heal so are this line. There's just less in the way here. There's more possibility. A child hasn't been scammed by their parents' church or education system yet. So it's not the kids heal. Well, the stem cells, right. By your measurements, stop it right now. Go inside some of the people who don't seem to age, who don't seem to function slower, who just continue to go. Why can you grow hair on your face, but you can't back on your head? To steal count, that's Cassie, by the way. To steal a count, why don't ankles get heart disease, get arterial disease? Because it's all just one big fucking story that makes zero sense and isn't true. Change it. So what does TJ do? The same thing I have you guys do. Is it the same hamstring? Well, no, I wasn't a hamstring. I was me. And my capacity to do things and the way I go about things. And everything shifted for me and continues to shift. So I found an opportunity. There was an opportunity. Hold on. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah. Jesus. I got more people, some yo-yo about Pilates. She felt the need to just post on and comment on one of my things. He was a former Pilates addict and this and that, and how Pilates, and she wanted to add rotation in, and then she loved this functional range conditioning dildo and all these things and wanted to promote him and all this shit. But she had people literally, she mentioned like people being afraid of movements. And they did this in chiropractic school where we couldn't, with our feet fixed, turn and bend over at the waist because that's not, you're going to hurt yourself. But does the body move that way? Okay, then it's able to. So you just got to prepare it to be able to do that. But we have people being afraid of certain movements. I can't bend over at the waist unless I bend my knees and keep my back flat. What the fuck are you talking about? There's no like, babies aren't like concerned about 32 points on their body before they go about things. They're also not competing. They're also not in a race. They also don't need music to move better. Could you play my jam so I can really get after these 30,000 reps? Our fear of movements is just as bad as the fear of germs, the fear of disease, the fear of sickness. Shit, the fear of love, the fear of failure, the fear of loss, the fear of death. Carries over. Every industry is experiencing the same thing. We need to cut this fear of movement. I can't do that because I'm old or because I had this. I can't do those movements. Those are dangerous movements. There's no such thing as that, ever. There's just your inability to be able to adapt to whatever that stimulus was that may mimic a movement. So the movement that you're afraid of is the thing that you actually need. The thing that you're afraid of is your medicine. And as Cassie said, I'll say it again, your life is your medicine. Keep it that way. Look at all the things that you have the opportunities to input into your body to create a stimulus, to create the change. The body is always looking to fucking change. It needs to be stimulated. It needs to be challenged. For every comfort or convenience, you de-evolve slightly. Think about this. And anything you've got, any joint, any muscle, any soft tissue, any bone, anything that's talking to you right now, that's an opportunity. That's a conversation, an opportunity for you to change everything right now and function greater than you ever have possible. Things become easier. Life becomes more enjoyable. I don't want to say easy because it's not always life is easy. When I said things become easier, they become like effortless. It's not always easy, but it becomes very clear. And then it's the work, but you take on the work and you're welcoming it. I'm always looking for a challenge and people laugh and make fun of me, but the more and more challenges I see from my life, the higher I function on the back end. Like I love challenges. I love the challenge that my body can go through, my spirit, my soul, my emotion, my intellect, and everything else, my mental capacity. I love those challenges. It's not because I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm a glutton for love. God damn it. Whew, I'm a rom-com junkie. You guys know this. All right. That's the quickie. Short and sweet. If you are experiencing anything in the body, it is an opportunity. Sickness and disease do not exist. Your body does not attack you in an autoimmune state. That is not real. Cancer is not a thing. Everything you're feeling, everything the body's doing that's been called an attack is healing. Everything that the body goes through is healing. The cut on your leg, that scab, is no more a tumor or is no more a viral something. It is just the body's healing. That's all it knows to do. Everything that's going on, it just knows to regenerate, adapt, repair, and keep you here. It has to keep you here because it loves you here. Think about that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go sauna. Enjoy. Thank you for tuning in and getting naked with TJ. See you next time.